Well, hey Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Robot Spirits RX-178 Gundam Mark II Titans for anime. This is one that I have been waiting for a while. In fact, I didn't even think this was going to happen. When I first got into Gundam, I got into the Robot Spirits line, started collecting the Ver anime. The Zeta stuff was a little older, and I was like, well, I guess those are the versions we're getting. But no, we're getting new ones with the awesome engineering. We're gonna jump in, can't wait. All right, and here we go. Yeah, let's take a look at the box here. Awesome artwork. So showing Unit 2, Unit 3, straight out of Zeta. You know, I am a big fan of Zeta Gundam. I'm a fan of the Mark II. Like, because it's like the classic granddaddy Gundam design, but just modernized. And because of that, I got an attachment to Zeta and really any mobile suit from it. All right, let's get this off. All right, and a quick look. All right, getting a quick look here. This thing looks great. You know, it's just the Mark II, the way we know it, the way we like it. I mean, I guess I prefer the AU colors, but hey, it's a Mark II. All right, to get a look at the sculpting here, again, this is exactly what you expect a Mark II to look like. There's nothing I can really complain about. Again, it's Ver anime, so the idea of this line of Robot Spirits Gundam action figures is that it looks like it would in the show. And that's what we get here. By Zeta, they had a really good design philosophy around the symmetry, the scale, the things looking proportionally accurate when it's put into animation. And, you know, that is shown off here with the way this figure looks. And again, personally, I like the design, so it's really hard for me to knock this. In fact, as an interpretation of the Mark II, I think this is excellent. So let's compare it with some others. So let's check this out. Over here, we've got the 144 Gunpla. We've got the Robot Spirits on the right. You know, first glance, you might not notice much of a difference, but there is a difference there, you know, and I don't know if it's just me, but I think it has something to do with the head on the Robot Spirits Mark II just seems to be distinct to it. I think it's the way the eyes are shaped. They have more of an angular download approach to the nose. The Gunpla looks like some standard, probably Gundam head used on all the high-grade kits. And the high-grade looks great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, these two could be together on a shelf, so it's just cool that we have these options. All right, here's the Robot Spirits original release. And, you know, even that it doesn't look bad. There is something with, you know, the Ver anime that kind of gives it a more streamlined look. Whereas, you know, like on the original, there's, you know, some random sculpt there that might not necessarily be how it is in the show. So it's just kind of cool to get something that's accurate. And plus this has all the newer engineering. And against my favorite Mark II that I currently have, I think, this is the Ka Signature Robot Spirits version. This one that came with the Super Gundam G-Defensor attachment. I just love all the real-time markings on it, actually. And I kind of like the proportions and everything. This is probably still my favorite, my go-to, but you know what? The thing with Ka Signature is sometimes the articulation isn't as good as the Robot Spirits for anime, so let's look at that. You know, I usually breeze over some articulation when I go through these Robot Spirits because they're usually quite similar, but there's a few engineering things they've done here that I find interesting that I actually want to touch on. For instance, it's kind of crazy what the head can do. You can actually pull it off. You can actually pull this up here and look at that strange articulation that doesn't seem to make any sense, but maybe it allows it to pull off some sort of pose seen in the anime and maybe give it just a general look down pose that you wouldn't be able to do normally. And the arms, we can see the joints here are very interesting. How it sticks out like that, it's pretty amazing. I mean, but this allows for it to get a lot of range moving forward, because not only do we have multiple joints that move it out forward like this, but the chest piece moves in, allowing for that. So you can really have the arm go across, and that's actually pretty good. Along with that's a new favorite of mine, and that's the elbow having this sort of lateral movement as opposed to the kind of hinge up, and not quite up there, but is above 90. But yeah, this is very nice, especially, and we'll see in a second some of the shots when it's holding the rifle or bazooka. This just makes it easier to be able to hold, and really to get a few more dynamic poses. Real quick, while it's in this goofy pose, let's look at the torso here, and let's see. Yeah, it seems to bend down pretty good. Go back up. pretty good. I think combined with how you have the head working, you can get some pretty good poses out of that. All right, let's take a look at accessories because there's a lot here and it's actually pretty cool. The backpack here, which houses the beam sabers that can be pulled off. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah, there we go. And it has a point right here to plug into and down at the base. And even that has its own articulation as you are pushing that on, along with the thing it's on itself. And on here, lots of articulation. Also, it comes with the effect parts here, which I love these. All right, we got an extra V-fin here. We've got the open and close shield. We've got 2 magazine or ammo pouches, however you want to describe those, that are on here. These could be taken off as well. And it's also got one of the attachments here that could be used on the arm. All right, we've got this bazooka. It's something standard we have seen before. Has a removable box for ammo. Rocket box. All right, we've got the blaster, which is pretty cool. I like what they did with this. You know, the scope goes down like we see, especially when you want to fold it up and put it in for storage. It's got the handle here that goes up and down. Also the back, and I love this, is the fact that you can pull this up and it snaps into place. Because it's very funny. I want to say the Robot Spirits version I have, it's actually broken here, of the classic version. And I have it kind of dangling, but just sitting there in place. It's cool that they did this. I mean, this actually helps when you're putting it on the figure, so it doesn't get in the way. But also, I guess, stop it from being forced off. And we have the little Vulcan headgear that could be attached to the head. Pretty neat, nice and detailed with the, you know, looks like a color sticker that I didn't have to put on. That's some red paint there on the side. Another rocket box. All right, and with hands, a number of similar ones we've been seeing a whole lot. We have like the open, relaxed, open, dynamic. We have the trigger finger. We have something that's like a closed fist or holding a beam saber. And the trigger finger. So yeah, lots of different options there. Are pretty cool. Oh, and look, a little shield doohickey that I'll probably lose. Okay, and another neat gimmick has to do with these little numbered components that we're going to take a look at. So while it defaults to 3, we have 1, 2, and that's for both the shoulder as well as the knee and on the back plate. All right, let's attempt to change this. This will be my first time doing it. And, okay, that was pretty easy. Kind of cool to get a look at like some inner frame. It looks like potentially some sculpted detail maybe to give it maybe more of an inner frame look rather than just completely functional. Or maybe not. It looks like everything just kind of fits in place. All right, so we snap this on, and that seemed to just snap on easily. That's nice. All right, the knee, it seems to be this whole part here. And we'll take a look at that here. It seems to be some plastic kind of dangling off there, but kind of a neat look because even exposed, at least it looks like it has some sort of inner frame look rather than just the functionality of attaching another piece. Okay, that seemed to go on pretty good. And then this back part here, let's see how this comes off. All right, trying to do this without breaking it, but okay, it did come off. Seemed a little hard at first. There's a little peg right there this goes into. So yeah, push that right on there. All right, and okay. All right, and you know, for fun, let's compare this to the Master Grade. This is the version 2, I think. Okay, that looks a little better. You can kind of see just how badass the Mark II Master Grade is. And, you know, the look, you know, it's going for, you know, it's close enough. There's obviously a few differences, but you know what, generally speaking, it's pretty close, especially just looking at like the way the skirt armor is sculpted. It looks like this Master Grade did a good job of sticking with the anime. And because this is turning into a self-imposed intervention, here is this tiny, forget what it's called, Salt Kingdom or something like that, little Mark II that I have because I just love the Mark II. All right, so yeah, plugging in the backpack, really love the way this looks and that we can use the included thruster effect parts. Either I mixed this up with the bunch of other ones I got recently, or this actually comes with 2 different type of effect parts, straight and then 2 that are angled. That does happen sometimes, but again, I could have mixed some up, but it doesn't matter because it works. I mean, the amount of articulation you get on this is really nice. And then how you have angled ones, you can kind of turn them, have them go into different directions. All right, let's take a look at the beam saber blade hilt. These are always fun on the Mark II because they're just like squares, rectangles. And then, yeah, plugging this in. I mean, you guys know this, you've seen a million times before, but there you go. That's how it looks. Plugged into the hand. It feels like a lot of the past few years when it comes to the hands, their shapes, the way they hold the weapons, it's been pretty consistent. And earlier I was talking about like the storage on how this works. I find it very interesting on this gun. They have, you know, the thing you push down that allows you to push this into the spot it's supposed to go in, which does a really good job because it has like 2 prongs that it connects into, and actually keeps it from falling, and it doesn't hit up against that. So that's just an amazing little feature they added in there. And then we've got the rocket box again, which you can put this little thing on top to kind of keep the rockets from falling out, which you can, you know, trade off with that. That then can plug in right here on the side like the other one. Stays in really good. Really love how that works. You know, that even further cements this as, you know, the type of figure I like. Okay, this took me a bit, but this folds up. It's interesting how it can fold in on itself and close in there, because I couldn't get this to attach on, but once I figured that out, it clicks in nicely. Again, making this the type of figure I like because you could deck it out like the old school 80s G.I. Joes where they had like their backpacks and all the things connected on them. All right, so that is the Mark II Ver-Anime Titans version, Robot Spirits, so many labels for it, but it is simply awesome. Greatest release. Can't wait for more of the Zeta Ver-Anime Robot Spirits. This line is awesome. If you haven't checked it out, they got War in the Pocket, Stardust Memory, Oh Wait, the MS Team, and they just look fantastic, especially the original show. But what about you? Are you into the Ver-Anime look? Do you prefer the interpretations? Because I think by the time we get to Zeta, like I was saying earlier, the animation is done so well, we get to really see these proportions that a lot of work was put into it, and I think it's best represented in these Robot Spirits Ver-Anime. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the supporters. Check the links in the description for things like how to support the channel or checking out our Discord. We have a lot of fun there. But until next time, be cool.